All right, we're ready to rock and roll. My name is Nick Baldwin, co-founder of Lab Coat Agents. I've got Gary Prado here with me with Vitalis Outsourcing. And, virtual assistants is a very hot topic, especially now with lots of AI and all that fun stuff. Who should we hire? How should we hire? What do we do so our VAs succeed? And if you're here because you have a VA, you want to make sure they succeed, or you're thinking of hiring one, you're not really sure how to go about that. Well, we're going to talk about why most real estate virtual assistants fail and the management mistakes costing realtors leads, time, and money. And hiring a virtual assistant is really only half the equation. Managing them and leading them effectively is really what drives results. So we're here to talk about common VA management mistakes that you guys might be making, or to avoid making them, so you can build those systems that save you time, generate more leads, and maximize your investment. So we're here with Gary Prado, like I said, with CEO of Vitalis Outsourcing. Thanks for being here, Gary. It's always nice to have you on the webinar.
Thank you, Nick.
How's things going on your end?
We are busy. We try not to grow too fast, but, we don't like growing too fast, but, it's business is good. Everybody says like a VA. We don't really say that term, Nick, but, we call them XPs. You know that because you're in our channel, you're getting people from us, but that is the term. And so, our XPs are really crushing it for clients. And so, we're happy about that. And what I'm going to share today is some of the common mistakes, the reasons why VAs fail. I talk to probably, I'd say 5 real estate agents a day. And I can tell, Nick, whenever I can tell if a VA is successful with that real estate agent just by the simple conversations and why. And sometimes if they are successful, and I can tell why, it's so clear. And so anyway, we're going to go over some of that information if that's okay.
Yeah, I'm ready to go, and let's rock and roll. I'm ready to hear what you have to say. And like usual, if you're watching, wherever you're watching from, drop in the comments and let us know if you have any questions while we're talking.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me share my screen and Nick, let me know if you can see it.
Not just yet, but I'm sure it'll pop up soon. Sometimes there's a little bit of a delay. Not yet.
I can always go ahead.
I can't see it yet. Oh, there we go. It's coming.
Okay.
All right, cool. So you might want to, click that button there in the middle. I can click that X out of there.
I'm sorry. What do I need to do?
I see audience window. Oh, there we go. Yep. Now we're good.
Okay, very good. Okay, so this is the reason why we see most agents fail. And so I'm going to go to the first one. The management mistakes costing realtors leads, time, and money. So this is the uncomfortable truth. Most virtual assistants don't fail because they're bad. They fail because they're unmanaged. Without structure, it's unclear ownership, slow lead response, and the agent becomes the bottleneck. With structure, daily visibility, clear KPIs, and win more time back. So I hate to say this, but most of the time, the reason why a VA fails is because of the realtor, not because of the VA. That's just something that we see. Yeah. What we'll cover today is hire for an outcome, manage results, define what is done or what is successful, protect the core role, and create lead response. The goal is to build a VA operating system that creates consistency without consuming your calendar. The number one mistake, hiring a VA, you hiring a VA instead of an outcome. At Vitalis Outsourcing, we sell outcomes, not VAs. So for example, we have follow-up boss setup and optimization. That's an outcome. We also have Lofty setup and optimization. We also have Claude for real estate agents, setup and optimization. That's an outcome, not a VA. So a weak ask is, I need a VA to help with my leads. And so that's just that's very general, and that's no plan for a VA to succeed. Every new lead is a response to categorize, follow up, and never left behind. So the person in this role is successful if the outcome is this. You have to define what is successful. The person in this role is successful if they do this. If you can define that, that's a good path starting out. Mistake number 2, manage hours instead of results. Oh my gosh, Nick, I see so many agents that have people on Time Doctor. They have people that are, they have screen tracking. They go to extremes on managing and micromanaging VAs. I see this, and this is the number one mistake. I travel with Club Wealth Real Estate Coaching Group, and I do breakout sessions with them. And this is the number one mistake that I see is that they're micromanaging them and the hours and not the results. So if you treat Nick, and I want your opinion on this, okay? After I say this, if you treat a VA like a VA, you're going to get a VA. If you treat a VA like a team member, you're going to get a team member. So tell me what you think about what I just said.
Yeah, 100%. So we're going to talk about this a little bit later too, but I have a VA and I use Vitalis to find my VA, and I don't, or my, what do you guys call it? I don't want to say VA.
XPs or executive partners.
Executive partner. I don't call him, my virtual assistant. Like, he's got a role, he's got a title. When I CC him on emails to our clients, I introduce him as the role that I've given him and his title in that role, so he feels like he's a part of the team and not just some guy pressing buttons or doing whatever. So it's super important to bring them in, give them a specific title, so they feel like they're a part of your whole organization.
Nick, I agree so much. And, that's really, it says mistake number 2, but this is the biggest mistake I see, is that if you have to micromanage them, then you're spending all your time micromanaging, and it defeats the purpose of having a VA. So give them a defined task, responsibility, goals, and then incentivize them to meet those goals. That's what we do. So I think we're in agreement there, aren't we?
100%.
Yeah. All right. So, end of day reports, by the way, with Vitalis, we do SODs and end of days. That was the last screen. So SODs are start of the days. They define what they're working on today. EODs are end of days. And so at the end of days, this is what I got done, and this is what I'm going to start for tomorrow. So it's training them. And by the way, at Vitalis, we train and manage the VAs using this stuff. And so that's why we get high-level team members, not VAs. But the SODs and EODs and all the processes are what clearly defines a team member versus a VA. Number 3 mistake, giving tasks without defining what is done. When does the task start? What exactly happens? What is the finished standard? And when should they ask you? So, for example, a CRM cleanup is complete when duplicates are merged, stage is assigned, notes are updated, and the next action is scheduled. That's an example. So that clearly defines that role and what it is when it's complete. And so when I see people, Nick, real estate agents, they don't have clear systems and processes, and that's another reason why VAs fail. Number 4, turning VA into a human junk. Oh my gosh, I want your opinion on this one, Nick, because this is pretty big as well. Turning the VA into a human junk drawer. Random tasks destroy focus needed for measurable results. Do you know what I'm getting at here, Nick?
Yeah, so you don't want to just push everything off on them. You want to, what I'm assuming that you're saying is you want to have a specific role for them with specific tasks, not just like, hey, when you're done with doing that really important thing, go do this super unimportant thing. Like if they were in person, it'd be like, upload this listing to the MLS and make it go live, and then go get me a cup of coffee when you're done.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Just throwing random stuff at somebody just saying, "Hey, I need you to do this." That is not a map for success. So, yeah, so you're exactly right. Here's a little known hack: time block your VA the same way you time block yourself, and so that's something you can do. Number 5, no speed to lead standard. A lead sits becomes someone else's opportunity. So a lead that just sits there is an opportunity for another agent. So the lead response, I've talked about this in other shows. The lead response is crucial. Who owns the lead? How quickly do they respond? What happens if there's no answer? How many first day attempts? And when is the agent notified? So that's the speed to lead, because speed to lead is crucial in any industry, especially in real estate. But that is a clear response designed for success. Who owns that lead? How quickly? What happens? How many first days? And when does the agent get notified? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you don't, like I said before, like if you don't have, if you don't have expectations, then it's going to all fall by the wayside.
Yeah, Nick, I see this so much. If an agent could get organized on their systems and processes, and this is what we do at Vitalis, but if an agent could get organized on their systems and processes, Nick, they could relieve a lot of stress and of the busy work that they do by getting their systems and processes in order. And
for example, like my guy, obviously he had a job description, but I just let him create the workflow that works best for him. And so, as long as the results come, I don't really care how he's getting there. He's very organized, more organized than me. And so, you just got to let them do their thing.
Yeah, no, and here's a great way to do this right now, by the way. So this is escalation rules. So you can mark something, a task as green, VA decides. So the VA has total control over this. It can be CRM stage, merge duplicates, send approved templates, whatever. Yellow is if it's marked yellow, the VA decides within limits. So book within approved windows, make minor formatting edits, etc. Yellow. And then red, a VA must ask. So they need approval from you in order to get this done. Here's a great little tool that you can use to categorize. That way, their role is clear and they can get things done without. What I see, Nick, is when the VA has questions, they just ask, and the real estate agent is bombarded with the ask. So if you get a little simple process in place like this, that'll create a lot less of that busy work and approving all of this stuff, where you can just have the VA have accountability and take control and get things done.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, number 3, managing your VA in 30 minutes a week. Number 1, a scorecard. By the way, I'm going to give you guys a scorecard in the barcode. It is a free scorecard that you can use for your VA, so you can scan it on the computer. So the wins, the stuck points, the coaching, and the priorities. Use the meeting to discover why the numbers look the way they do, not chase every task. So this is a weekly meeting that you have to discuss the systems and the processes, because if you don't fix the systems and the processes, then you're going to be in that never ending hell of always putting out fires, always having to be asked for things. So you're working not on fixing the VA to make them better. You're fixing the solution, so you don't have to ask the VA anymore, and the VA doesn't have to ask you. You're fixing the problem. You're not putting a Band-Aid on the problem. That makes sense, right?
Yeah, totally.
All right. 30-day VA success formula. Week 1, learn business system scripts, CRM standards. We talk about that at Vitalis, communications tools, et cetera. Week number 2, do with supervision. The VA performs the role while work is reviewed. Week number 3, own it. The VA becomes independently owning the workflow. Week 4, review numbers and improve the process. just like what we talked about, systems and processes are what's going to make the VA, or we call them XPs, successful. Do not expect 10 years of knowledge from your head to transfer into 3 days. This is quite funny, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
don't expect 10 years of knowledge from your head to transfer into 3 days. That's such a recipe for failure.
100%. You can't expect them to know everything you know right off the bat.
Right. And VAs are human. Nick, they're going to make mistakes. I do apologize. Who's your VA? I'm sorry, I don't know his name, but
his name is Saeed.
Saeed, he's made a mistake or two, I'm sure. He's human, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So you can't expect these people to be robots. They're human just like us. And so what you do if they make a mistake, you go over the mistake, make sure it doesn't, document it. So what the real solution is, what needs to happen. And then that way they know going forward and those mistakes aren't made again. So the real estate VA operating system, the simple structure that makes VAs easier to manage and easier to measure. Role outcome, KPIs, daily reports, weekly meetings, those are crucial. Escalation rules, those are crucial. What is the business result? How do we measure it? What happened today? What gets improved? And what does the VA ask? So the biggest thing that I see is that asking the manager or the real estate agent, it's all day long. At Vitalis, we have a manager that handles that. So the XP or the VA doesn't have to ask the real estate agent all the time. They're trained to come to the manager first. So that's one of the good things is we handle all those problems. This is what turns a hired VA into built leverage. Closing. 5 rules to remember. Hire for an outcome. Manage the results. Define done. Protect the core role. And create KPIs and escalation rules. So here's what we talked about. Here is where you can download the management scorecard. This is going to help you manage your VAs. So I'm going to leave this up here just for a second so you guys can do this, take this. Then the next slide I want to give you, see there's some 3 of our most popular downloads. This first one is the management scorecard. That's for this webinar. The next one is AI prompts your real estate VA can use to be more to be more successful at their job. That's the next one that I'm going to show you. And then the one after that is 100 tasks that you can have your real estate VA do. So I'm going to move on to the next one here. And then here are the other ones that you can download from the Vitalis, just like I promised. So I'll let you guys leave this barcode up. And so, Nick, tell me a little bit about, I think we wanted to go over some of the things that your VA was doing well and how it was affecting your business.
Yeah, so I don't use my VA specifically for real estate. I use it for a different business. But I needed someone who knew how to use AI very well. I needed someone who knew how to code. I needed someone who knew SEO and how to help us rank, in Google searches and in AI searches to optimize websites and so on and so forth. So he just spends all day doing that, building websites, building neighborhood websites, optimizing our websites for SEO, optimizing it for AI search. And so I just gave you guys I don't know. It wasn't necessarily like a job description that I gave you. It was more like an explanation of what I needed someone to do and what they needed to be knowledgeable in. And so you go and you pick, a handful of people for me to interview. And this was the 3rd guy that I interviewed. I only had to interview 3. But I mean, you let us interview as many people as we need. But what I like is that, you take some time to go and it's not like an overnight thing. Like you have to give Vitalis time to source these, these opportunities for you to find the right people. They don't want to waste your time and they don't want you to have to interview a dozen people because that just is a waste of time. So Luckily, he was only the third person I interviewed, and he just kind of hit the ground running. Like, I told him my vision and what I wanted from him, and he just kind of like, you know, he did his own research and figured out a lot of it on his own. So you got to get I think it was important to have a self starter. And I mean, obviously I was happy to coach him and train him, but he just kind of got the vision and went to town. So I'm super excited. And the more detailed your expectations are in terms of the type of person you're looking for, the more success Vitalis is going to have with finding someone for you. So he's very, very talented. I'm going to hire someone else soon. Because we're getting really busy and he's getting he has a big workload. But what I'm going to do is when I hire someone else, I'm going to make him, in charge of the new person. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I'll give him probably a bump in his rate, a bump in his pay, to kind of coach and train the new person to get them up to speed, so I don't have to do it. So, that's kind of that's kind of giving him incentive to do better every day.
Yeah. The one thing that we do really good, Nick, we have a whole sourcing department, and we recruit, and this is one of the questions I wanted to cover. Where do you guys get your VAs from? And we say wherever we need to go to get them. I mean, we're not one country specific. We go from, I think Tristan has Ranson, who's his video guy. He's from Egypt. And so, we go wherever we need to get the most talented people. And our sourcing, our philosophy is, quick things are seldom good, and good things are seldom quick. And so we are going to, every step of the way, when you give us, just like you did, Nick, when you gave us the person you were looking for, we didn't have somebody for you tomorrow. And we don't even say we're going to have somebody for you tomorrow. And that's the difference between us and other companies. If you want somebody tomorrow, that's not us. We can't give you somebody tomorrow.
Yeah, it was about 2 weeks but I was glad to wait the 2 weeks because, you don't want to have to interview a dozen people. You want the people that you select the first time. You want one of those people to be the person, My guy's in Pakistan. He works U.S. Eastern time hours. He doesn't work weekends, although he does go above and beyond. Sometimes he will do a few things here and there on the weekend if he needs to, but I don't ask him to. If he feels like he needs to, and he just does it. So
that's great.
Yeah, and I can always message him on WhatsApp if I have a question, but I try not to interrupt his family time because he's very involved with his family, and so I try not to interrupt that. But just treat him well, and if he doesn't, if he's had to take a couple hours off in the morning, but he always makes it up, and because he had to take his mother to the doctor, and then he said, I'm gonna work in a couple hours extra later on, and I'm like, all right, cool, just, they're human beings and they have lives, and you just got to treat them like they do. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, Nick. It's so true. Let me go over our process, if I may, because I want to tell people what our process is to find people. And so this is important. So number one, they go through personality test, then IQ test, then skills assessment, background check, English comprehension, and then DISC assessment. So they have to turn in all that stuff and then pass. So that's number one. So number two is they go through 2 interviews. So they go through 2 interviews with some of our team members on our sourcing department. After those 2 interviews, they then we have 3 people on our board. Out of those 3 people, 2 have to say, yes, it's okay to present this to the client. So 2 out of the 3 have to approve it. And then that's where we get the people that you interviewed. So when you got those, they had to go through tons of hoops and systems and processes to get to you, Nick. And so that's where, where we shine is our systems, processes, vetting, sourcing, and that's how we get top quality candidates, not a VA, but that's how we get team members.
Interesting. Okay. I didn't realize that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So it's quite, it takes a lot to work with us. if
Yeah.
you've got to turn all that stuff in and you go through interviews. I mean, it is crazy. We have AI analyzing interviews. We have AI find a matching. And so, Nick, I don't know if you went through it, but we have a client matching and a VA matching, and we use AI to see if their personalities match. And so we use all these tools to make sure we're going to get the best possible fit. And it's really cool to see how this is really growing, and and people are getting team members just like you.
Yeah, and if you're not used to interviewing people, that's okay, because on the calls you have one of your Vitalis, I don't know what you call them, the people
Delegation coaches.
The what is it?
Delegation coaches.
Yeah, so there'll be a delegation coach, and I just asked her, I was like, hey, can you kick it off, like kick off the interview with some questions, and then after that I just started asking questions because I wasn't sure what to ask right off the bat.
Yeah.
But the delegation coach will ask some questions and basically, go off their resume, and then I just chimed in and started asking specific questions. But yeah, so if you're not really sure where to start, they'll start you off with some questions that you might not think of. It's a pretty easy process. So side at least.
Yeah, the delegation coaches, they have interview questions ready because we know you're not. The delegation coach is on your side. The delegation coach is at the end of that call that you have. You're going to put your heads together. The delegation coach is going to go, I like this person. This is why I like this person. I didn't like the other two. That's why. And they're going to tell you why. Then you're going to put your head together as well, and then you're going to talk it through and figure out which is the best person. So
yeah.
So they're on your side, and they're going to have interview questions ready, just like you said, and to start it out. And it normally goes with the flow, just like just like it went with you.
Yeah, and I communicate through WhatsApp and email. It's pretty seamless. He tells me when he's starting to work, and he tells me when I'm usually asleep by the time he's done working, because he'll text me. He'll say, are you sleeping now? I'm like, yeah, I'm sleeping. He's like, okay. He's like, are you he'll say, oh, it's 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night. He's like, you're probably going to sleep, but I just wanted to, let you know that this, but, yeah, it's a good process. I'm happy with him. He's a really good guy, super nice, and, very, very efficient and knowledgeable. So I'm excited for that. Yep.
Well, I hope this helped some people today, Nick. Managing those VAs and expectations. That's the biggest thing that we see is that the lack of accountability, treating them like a VA, things like that. So I hope this helps some people. If anybody has any questions, they can email me or call us, and I'll be more than happy. You don't have to buy from us. We've helped many people, just helping you point them in the right way and point the right direction. So just reach out and we'll help you.
Tristan and I have hired VAs from Vitalis. We're very excited about it. That's why we have Vitalis on webinars with us, because we can vouch for them, and so it's a good experience. So yeah, give Gary a call or shoot him an email, Gary@vitalisva.com. Scan the QR code, and if you want to book a call and see if it's right for you. But yeah. No questions right now, but I appreciate you being on the call. Nice talking to you, Gary. And we'll see you on the next one, man.
All right, Nick. Thank you, buddy. Take care.
See ya.